Assalamu alaikum class. Our today's topic is ratio and proportion, and in the subtopic we will be finding the unknown number in a given proportion. That's the methods to find the unknown number, and we will be discussing the concept of direct and inverse proportion, and in the end we will be solving certain questions. When we say that the two ratios are in proportion, then what does it mean? First, let's see what is ratio. When we relate two similar quantities, for example, if I say 2 cups of sugar are required in 1 cup of flour for making a cake, it means the relation between sugar and flour is 2:1, that is 2:1. Written symbolically, I want to double the size of cake. Let's multiply both numbers of ratio by 2. Which means if I want to double the size of cake, 4 cups of sugar with 2 cups of flour is required. And above relationship can be written in fraction form as well. Here, 4/2 and 2/1 are equal. 2/1 is a lowest fraction of the given ratio. We know that a fraction can be written in ratio form, that is 4/2 can also be written like 4:2, which is equal to 2:1. The above can also be written as 4:2 is equals to 2:1. Here the numbers at the ends or the extreme positions, that is 4 and 1, which are highlighted as red, are the extremes, and the numbers in the middle highlighted in green are the means. Let me tell you a property of proportion or property of equal ratios. Product of means is equal to product of extremes. That is, multiplying the numbers at the very extreme of a ratio is equal to the answer of multiplying numbers on the mean positions. Here, 4 multiplied by 1 will be equal to 2 multiplied by 2, and it is very well evident that 4 is equal to 4. What if one of the numbers amongst the 4 numbers in two ratios is unknown? Is there any method to find this unknown number x? Yes, there is, and the method is by using the above property. Let's solve for x, that is find the value of x. First, write the above ratio in fraction form, that is 20/21 will be equal to 60/x. Let's rewrite the fraction in ratio form and point out extremes and means. Then apply the property, that is multiplying 20 with x and 21 with 60. Don't forget to make a rough column here. After multiplying 21 with 60, the answer is 1260. The equation we get so far is 20x is equals to 1260. In order to find the value of x, first we will isolate x. We can see that number 20 is written with x over here. First we will divide both sides of the equation by 20. In this manner, x will be alone and x will be equal to 126/2. Now we are supposed to divide 126 by 2. In the rough column you can see the whole procedure. First, 2 times 6 will be 12, and then 6 will be carried down, and 2 times 3 will be 6, remainder 0. So 2 times 63 is equal to 126. The value of x finally is equals to 63. We know Ratio is the relationship between two similar quantities. Sometimes in practical life, change in one action or process may lead to change in the other process which is dependent on the first one. For instance, if gas is filled in a container, if I tend to decrease the volume of gas, of course the pressure inside the gas will increase as well. So decreasing one quantity leads to increase in the other, or sometimes increasing one quantity may lead to increase in the other as well. There is one more example. If reading 2 pages of a book takes you 40 minutes, then when you'll be reading more pages, for example, if reading 6 pages of a book will certainly take you more time, because more work requires more time. That is, extending one activity leads to elongate the other as well. Such a relationship is known as a direct relationship, in which increase in one leads to increase in the other. In these questions, one ratio will be given to you. For example, if I say 22 people eat 44 apples, writing this relationship or comparing these two numbers, we can write it in ratio form as 22 upon 44 or 22 ratio 44. The other ratio which will be in proportion to the first one or equal to the first one. For example, I write 22 upon 44 is equals to 2 upon x. Here, the unknown x can be found easily by using the property of product of extremes equals to product of means. And let's consider one practice question. Here, a boat travels 128 kilometers in 3 hours with a constant speed. How much time will it take when it has traveled 376 kilometers? By studying the question above, we can formulate the following data. That is, the following information in first step can be easily taken out. Proceeded further, we are told that when boat travels 376 kilometers, and we are asked that what will be the time taken following the same relation or ratio. That is, time is unknown here. Distance traveled and time in one case is given to you. Distance traveled in the other case is given to you, but time is not given to you. That is the unknown. When distance traveled is 376 kilometers, what is time? How much time will it take? In the solution, we will be writing the relationship between distance and time in ratio form. When the distance was 128 kilometers, time taken was 3 hours. They will be written in front of one another. And when the distance was covered almost equal to 376 kilometers, the time was unknown. This unknown is what we are supposed to find out. Note, there's one thing to be noted over here, that we must be very, very careful about the units of distance and time. If in one case of the relation, the unit of distance is kilometers, then in the other case, the distance must be expressed in kilometers also. We cannot say that in one situation, in one case, the distance will be in kilometers, in the other it will be meters, and it can be written easily and compared. It can't be so. The units should be similar. Same thing goes for hours. We can easily observe that the relationship between a distance and time when speed is fixed is direct. How can we say this? When a certain vehicle or a boat, as in this case, has traveled a longer way, of course, more time must have elapsed. Now, mark 2 arrows in the downward direction and in the direction of the arrows, rewrite the ratio. And now in this case 128 kilometers ratio 376 will be proportion to 3 hours ratio x. Then apply the property on the given proportion. Here 128 kilometers will multiply x and this product will be equal to 376 kilometers multiplied by 3 hours. In order to find the value of x, 128 kilometers, which is on one side of the equation, will be divided on the other side of the equation. After the division of 376 and 128, let's cancel these two numbers 376 and 128 by number 8. 8 times 16 is 128 and 8 times 47 is 376. So the final look of the equation will be x is equals to 47 into 3 upon 16, and the unit which will be left is hours, because kilometers in the numerator and the denominator will be cancelled. So let's repeat it. From where do we get 47? When I divided 376 by 8. From where did we get 16? When I divided 128 by 8. Finally, multiplying 47 by 3, I get 141 upon 16. Dividing these two numbers, 8.8 is my answer, which is approximately equal to, that is when I try to round off 8.8, 9 hours is the final answer. Two quantities are inversely proportional when increase in one quantity results in decrease of the other. For example, more workers on a job would reduce the time to complete the task. They are inversely proportional. That is, if I channelize two people to do the same work, for example, if they take 2 hours, and if for the same work I try to channelize 4 people, they are going to take less time. Let's study another example. If 4 masons can build a wall in 8 days, then 6 masons can build the same wall, of course, in less time. Now let's try to think. So how much time you think they require? That is 6 masons. How much time you think they require?
Oh my God, it's going to take 4 days to build this wall.
4 of us can build this wall in 1 day.
There's one more example. If one pipe fills tank in 12 hours, then 4 pipes would fill the same tank in lesser time, of course. How much time you think will it take? One thing you know for sure, that less time will be taken with 4 pipes. Such a relationship between time and worker is inversely proportional if amount of work is not changed. Here 1 water tank is the amount of work, and the number of workers are the pipes. That is, you increase the number of workers, which are pipes here, you would require lesser time. Here work is filling tank. Let's observe the step-by-step approach of solving these questions. Here the two quantities are number of pipes and time taken by each pipe. For one pipe, as it is given in the question, time taken is 12 hours. For 4 pipes, time is unknown. Writing these relationships in ratio form, pointing arrows in the opposite direction this time. In the direction of the arrows, we are supposed to write the numbers in ratio, then apply the property of product of means and extremes. According to this, 1 will be multiplied by 12, which will be equal to 4 multiplied by x. So 12 hours will be equal to 4x. 12 hours will be divided by 4 in order to isolate x. Let's divide 12 by 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So the answer of x is 3 hours. Here you are given with few practice problems. Solve these problems and give your answers in the comment section. The other slide also comprises of practice problems. One more practice problem of inverse and direct proportion, and one problem to find the unknown number in the given ratio. Give your answers in the comment section. That's it for today. Thank you. Keep watching and keep learning.